Hi, this is Michelle from Twilight Yoga. Today I'm here to say a few words about breathing and the power of our breath. Um, I don't know if you're aware of that, but the breath is actually a very, very powerful tool that we've got at our disposal and that we can use to help us to basically help our well-being. We can help ourselves feel relaxed. We can help ourselves feel more energized, more focused, all of that through using our breath. Now, we tend to take our breath for granted. We breathe, it's an automatic biological response. We don't have to think about it, to do anything for it to work, obviously, thankfully as well. But if you were to start breathing more consciously and with more awareness, then it becomes a very, very powerful tool. And today I wanted to explore one specific breathing technique called the alternate nostril breath, which is a technique that doesn't require much yoga practice or pranayam practice, pranayam being the science of yoga and of breathing. And it's really easy to do, and it's got very, very powerful effect on the body and on the mind. So what this does, what this do, the alternate nostril breath, is that it basically evens out our energy. It balances the right side and the left side of our brain and of our bodies and personality. And the right side tend to be the more organized, the more energetic. It's the one that comes into play when we've got stuff to do, when we have to plan, when we have to be organized. That's the right side of our brain that we are using. On the other hand, when we are being creative, when we are resting, or just enjoying the moment, being in nature, it is the left side of the brain that comes into play. And ideally, for us to remain healthy and to not have our mind going at 100 miles per hour, we'd like to keep both balanced, the left side and the right side. And what is called Nadi shodanam in Sanskrit, the alternate nostril breath, is the ideal technique to achieve that. So it's really simple. You will first breathe through one nostril and then breathe out through the other. We then breathe in to that nostril that we've just breathed out of, and then we'll breathe out through the other one and carry on again. Okay? So we can have a little go at that, and then I'll talk to you a bit more about the power of the breath. So if you want to come and sit comfortably, having your shoulders back so that you've got space around the lungs to breathe, and take your right hand, I'm going to mirror you, take your right hand, and you want to keep the thumb, and then the ring finger and the little finger out. And you place them on either side of your nose. We're then going to close the left nostril and breathe in through the right. After you've breathed in, you're going to close the right and breathe out through the left. You'll then breathe in through the left, close the left, and breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right, close the right, and breathe out through the left. And breathe in through the left, closing the left nostril, breathing out through the right. And we'll do one more cycle, breathing in through the right nostril, closing, breathing out through the left. And now relax your hands and just take a moment to just breathe comfortably and at your own rhythm. In and out a couple more times. Good. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I've definitely noticed it. Just taking those, what was it, 1 minute, 2 minutes, to breathe, to pay attention to our breath, automatically calms the nervous system down. As soon as we become aware of the breath, we become conscious of the breath, we can start lengthening the breath a little bit, making it that little bit deeper. And by doing that, we send signal to our immune system, to our nervous system, that it's okay, that it can relax. Most of us, when we breathe, we actually breathe through the very top part of the chest. We breathe, and nothing moves from the diaphragm down. You breathe very much in the upper chest. And when you breathe in that way, you don't actually breathe to full capacity, which means that, strangely enough, we're actually depriving ourselves from some of the oxygen we need for for the body to work properly. So what we'd like to do ideally, you'd like to take deep breaths that go all the way to the bottom of the lungs, that then will push on the diaphragm, and that means that the abdomen comes out a little bit. Now, I know that, especially for women, we're often told it's nice to look slim, but when it comes to breathing and to your health in general, you want to have your tummy coming in and out as you breathe. That's the best, healthier way to breathe. So, as I said, it doesn't come naturally. Naturally, we work from up here. We work from the very top of the breath. But it's really easy with some practice to start teaching yourself to take deeper breaths that involve the whole of the lungs, that then will make the diaphragm push down and the abdomen will come out. So I've posted earlier today a blog on my website, treelightyoga.com, and on my Facebook page, on this Facebook page, that explains the practice of deepening the breath, what's called the diaphragmatic breathing. And in the practice that I suggest, we start lying down because it's much easier to feel the abdomen rising and falling and to actually be okay with that and be comfortable with that. It's much easier to start lying down than sitting up. Of course, if you want to start sitting up, by all means, go for it. That's absolutely fine. So using that diaphragmatic breath that will extend your breath and make it a fuller breath, and occasionally using that alternate nostril breath, these are two tools that you can use to really keep your emotions and your mind in check. And another thing which I found out, which I was absolutely amazed at, which shows you the power of the breath in influencing how we feel, is that a few years ago in America, they wanted to study the power of the breath. And so they exposed a group of people to different stimuli, or they asked them to remember different events, happy events, sad events, events that caused them quite a lot of anger. And they recorded the breath as these people were back into that state of happiness or anger or tension. They then took that information, went to another group, and told that group that they were studying the impact of the breath on the heart, on cardiovascular activity. And they were given patterns of breath to follow. And those patterns of breath were the ones, you can guess, that were taken from the original, from the previous test, the previous group. And these people, not having any stimuli whatsoever, just by replicating that breathing pattern, experience the same feelings. Somebody who was breathing in what was a happy pattern was feeling happy. And somebody who was feeling was breathing in a depressed or sad way, started to experience sadness. So that definitely proved that just changing the way you breathe has got a direct impact on your nervous system and then a direct impact of your mental health and on how your mind is feeling, and so all of your body is feeling. So I find that absolutely fascinating that there is so much we can do just with our breath. So I invite you to experiment with the diaphragmatic breath I've mentioned and with the alternate nostril breath. See how you get on, see how, if you notice a difference. You might find that once you start practicing the belly breath, the diaphragmatic breath, that your vitality and your energy gets higher. You feel more vitalized, you feel more energized because you take bigger breath and because there is more oxygen going around your body. And if you want to find out more about all of that, about the breath and about how to use it to your advantage, I've got a yoga and breath workshop online, of course, online workshop on the 18th of July. It's a Saturday. It's from 9 till 12. It's going to be via a Zoom session. So it's going to be a live Zoom session, but then the replay will be available within the next 24 hours. And during that session, we'll explain a bit more about the impact of the breath. And I'll explore different breathing techniques that will help you either energize your body or really relax the body or even help you ease you into sleep if you find trouble, if you find it difficult to fall asleep. That can be some breathing patterns, can some breathing techniques can help you with that. So if you're interested, have a look in the events of my Facebook page. You've got all of the details for that workshop. And that's it for today. Enjoy, and I'll see you next week. Bye.